In part 1, we got the basic program running, and I decided to put the fox's speed under keyboard control so I could play with it. So let's pick up where we left off. First, I'm going to save. Now we'll keep in mind that fox speed is the variable I want to be changing. So I'm going to go down to the bottom, and I'm going to create a key pressed routine to respond to the keyboard. I don't quite know what I'm going to do yet, but I'm going to paste fox speed in there. So let's see. I want to make the fox go faster or slower. I'm going to use the A and D keys just because they're convenient and they're under my left hand. So I'll say if key is A, then I'm going to make the fox speed smaller. I want to subtract something from it. I don't know how much. Let's say, what are we using for it right now? It's 0.1. So I'll tell you what, well, let's slow it down by 1/10 of that. 0.01. Maybe that's too little, maybe it's too big, I don't know. And I'll use D to go the other way. Plus equals 0.01. So A will slow the fox down, D will speed the fox up. Just so I know what I'm doing, I'll print it out. So let's go ahead and run it. So the fox is chasing me. Let me move this out of the way so we can see the output area. And I'm going to hit A a bunch of times and slow the fox down. Okay, the fox is really dragging behind me. Uh-oh, the fox is negative. Fox speed should never be negative. That drives the fox away. If I make him positive again, will he even come back? Yeah, he comes back. Well, that's awfully nice. But negative values of fox speed drive the fox away, which makes sense. We're pushing him away from the hen. And if I use big values, I can really push him away. That might be fun in some circumstances, but I don't want to do that in this program. I never want the fox to be pushed away. So tell you what, I'm going to put an if statement here. I'm going to say if fox speed is less than 0. Well, let's not, yeah, why not? We'll say 0. Fox speed equals 0. Let me show you another way I could have written that. I could have said fox speed equals fox speed less than 0, question mark. If it's true, then it's 0. Otherwise, it's fox speed. So that's using the conditional to do exactly the same thing as the line above. I find this actually a whole lot more confusing. So I'm not going to do it this way. I'm going to delete that. This makes sense to me. If fox speed is less than 0, fox speed equals 0. All right. So now it doesn't matter how many times I hit A, the fox will go slower and slower and slower, but when he finally hits 0, he's stuck at 0 and he doesn't move. And if I hit D, he starts going faster and faster. And at a certain point, he'll be so fast, I really can barely get away from him. Okay, great. So let's save. So what might be fun now? What would be a good next thing to do? Well, as I said, I've already written the program and I already had the idea to not clear the screen sometimes. So let's go ahead and implement that. Although that wasn't the first thing I thought of when I was writing the program. So let's go into draw and let's see, we have background here. I'll tell you what, I'm also going to do this. I'm going to change background to be background color. And then I'm going to declare my background color because I know eventually I'm going to want to have a nice color there. And up here, I'm going to declare background color and I'll leave it at 128 for now. Let me run it, make sure I didn't make any typos. Okay, great. And it still works. So now I'm going to say if a global variable is true. So let's say if clear background, then draw it. Then clear the background, otherwise don't. So now I have this global variable clear background. I'm going to copy it. Got to come up here and declare it. It's a Boolean. And I could set it to be true right up here, so we always clear the background. But it looks like so far I'm not actually assigning any values up here. So you know what, just for consistency, I'll assign all my values and set up. So we'll set clear background equals true. It absolutely doesn't matter where I put it because the value of clear background doesn't matter until we call draw. So I could have initialized it here or here. So now I know I only draw the background if clear background is true. So I'm going to change key pressed so I can turn it on and off. And so I'm going to put in another test here. I'm going to say if key equals C for clear background. Maybe that should be B for background. Then clear background is the opposite, whoops, of clear background. So if it was true, now it's false. If it was false, now it's true. Okay, let's run that and see how it works. We're clearing the background on every frame the way we think we should. I'll hit the B key. And great, now we're not clearing the background anymore. Hit the B key again, now we are. Hit the B key again, now we're not. Great, so we have this much working. Time to stop and save. Now playing with this, I thought, sometimes I'd like to see the hen and sometimes I wouldn't. I mean, it might be fun to watch just one or the other animal. So let's create another couple of booleans. They belong up here with the fox and the hen, so I'll put them up in that group. And I'll initialize them down here. And then I'll use them down inside of draw. So I only draw the ellipse if the corresponding animal is visible. Okay, let's run it and make sure we haven't broken anything. And test the background. Whoops, B for background. Great. So now let's use the keyboard to change that. So we'll say if key equals F, then fox visible. Great. So now by pressing the F and H keys, I should be able to turn the fox and the hen on and off. Let's run it and see if that works. There we are. Turn off the background, clearing. Whoops, B for that. So let's turn off the hen. Great. And I'll turn off the fox. Now we get nothing. Now I'll turn the hen back on. And I'll turn the fox back on. And beautiful. So H and F turn the hen and fox on and off. Okay, time to save. Okay, now I'm going to change these colors because I've had enough of these garish colors. So I take myself to my favorite online color picker and I messed around with some colors. And these are the colors that I liked. The green ground, the orange fox, and the white hen, but it's not a pure white. And I also picked a yellow for grain and maybe a blue for something else, but the first three colors are the ones I want. And I can read off their red, green, blue values right across from the RGB slots. So let's type those in. And I'll run it. And okay, this is looking better to me. I like this a lot more. But you know, I think the fox and the hen are pretty darn big. At some point, tell you what, let's make the hen smaller. The hen right now is 40 units. Let's try making the hen 30. See how that looks. So I do a lot of this tweaking. A lot of this sort of play with the number. Is this too big? Is this too small? Now I think the fox is a little bit too big. So tell you what, let's make the hen 20 and the fox 10. And see if that's too small. Well, that is pretty small. I think that those are roughly the size that I used in the videos before. It's not too bad. I can live with this for now. Maybe I'll change it again later. The speed seems all right too. I can try slowing the fox down a whole lot. I've made him stop. All right, he's going too slow. He's taking forever to catch up with me. I want it to feel responsive on my computer. And of course, everyone's computer runs at a different speed, and so you have to tune these numbers until it feels right to you. So I'm pressing the A and D keys until this sort of feels right. He's a little too quick for me here. All right, that's feeling about good, and I can see from the printout that fox speed is 0.08. So I'm going to go back, and I'm going to start the fox at a speed of 0.08. So I'm going to change his speed from 0.1 to 0.08 because that felt good, and time to save. Now, one more thing I want to do here is I want to get that really cool organic feeling with the fox getting bigger and smaller as he chases the hen. So let's put that in there. This is a nice place to pause. We'll pick up right here in part 3.